All right, well, now we're live. Okay, guys. I don't have the new format tonight. I couldn't get the dude up that was supposed to help me with this tonight. So there's no bells and whistles, no commercials tonight. No music, no intros, no outros, no graphics. We're just gonna look like the same old tonight. So
old
hey, we're a
folks.
little late getting on. We had a little some difficulties, and so here we are. I just want to first start out by saying thank you for coming in and watching us. We're going to do our reaction to the game that was the game that Iowa actually won. That I didn't think they were going to at one point.
Yeah, what was it?
But I
2 to
want you guys
12?
to hit the subscribe button first, and then hit the like button, and then share it, and leave some comments. And I understand if you guys are too tired to comment during the show, but this will be replayed later on, so you guys can catch up what we're going to do. So let's get started. Okay, this game did not start out well.
No,
not at all. Guyton, Hayden, and Strimlow, Kelvin says right off the bat. Kelvin, you're up. Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
He's so right.
Yeah. And I know that you said something about that you felt like Guyton and Lucy should be on the floor together, which
absolutely.
I would love to see what her 3-point percentage is this year, because she seems to hardly ever miss.
Yeah. Because Guyton would be on with Lucy, with Stremlow. You play those three, you've got, the pressure on Lucy. I mean, because they're going to start picking her up. They're going to start trying to double team her and doing whatever they can. Then that leaves those two sides open. And when they're open and their shots are on, they're good to go. Because we need that outside shot. We need that 3-pointer.
Yeah, my wife sat here and watched the game with me, and she was putting up with some of my antics, and then all of a sudden we started making a run, and things started looking like you know what, we're gonna pull this thing out. We finally came from behind and took the first lead late in the game.
Yeah. It was getting a little, I was like, what's going on? But again, it was back and forth. Luckily, with the free throw percentage and the 3-point percentage and the easy baskets being missed on both sides. I mean, luckily, because.
And then Lucy missing some free throws at the end of the game. I mean, she's usually pretty dead on. I think she only missed 2 all night.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's Sydney. Sydney finally came back. I watched her. What do they call that? The pregame interview that she did for this game, and she was talking about how she has to get more aggressive offensively and things. And
she does.
I think she did. I think it took her a while. I think the first half she wasn't looking very much, but the second half she just decided I got to get aggressive. I got to do this.
Yeah, and that's what she needs. I mean, because she has it in her. I mean, she started showing that towards the end of the year, and maybe the knee injury set her back a little bit. But I think she'll pick it back up. She's gonna bring that game back.
Yeah. Well, so let's start. Because we were texting back and forth throughout the game. You and I were, and let's talk a little bit about why Iowa got so far behind early on. I think at one point they were 10 points down.
Yeah, it was like
6. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like it was 2 to 12 at one point. I was like, oh my gosh, they're about to get blown out. It just didn't feel like they were in the flow of the game. I think they were playing Iowa State's game, and they weren't playing Iowa basketball like their plan was. And then things just were not dropping, and everything was dropping for Iowa State. So, but they didn't stop. They didn't give up. I love that part.
Yeah.
Because you quit.
Yeah. I just thought there for a while they were trying too hard and they weren't moving enough. And then I don't know what it was, but I mean, they kept the game close. I mean, they tie it up and then fall behind and get within one and fall behind. And then I think I just thought the dagger was when they called that intentional foul on Addie O'Grady. That was not intentional.
No.
I mean, anybody in their right mind could see that. How that ref could not see that wasn't not intentional.
I mean, I have no idea because she was literally looking up at the basket when her arm came down. It's
Yeah,
not like
you know, just
she
a
was looking
basketball
at
move.
her and then hit
Mhm.
her in the face. I mean, she was looking at the basket,
Yeah.
and when her arm came down, it was totally unintentional.
I know that refs don't cause games to be won and lost. I mean, we know that, but we like to
Right.
blame them throughout the game. And but did it just felt like, even though they were calling fouls on Iowa State, it just felt like that they were only calling the ticky tack fouls, and some of the obvious ones, like Hannah got bumped once by Audie
Hmm.
on the offensive side when she was trying to go in, and nothing was called. And of course, Stolke
Hmm.
lost the ball. And then later on, when it happened at the other end, then they finally called it.
I know. I know, and that was making Jan pretty angry.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
know these had to be Big 12 refs. They just had to be.
I mean, I'm thinking because I mean, it was just like you said, those little fouls at that. It was the older guy at the top that kept calling. He seemed to call the majority of those real
Yeah, he
quick,
did.
just little tap fouls.
Mhm.
And like we were talking, and I sent you that text. I said it slows down the game. Like Iowa
Mhm.
likes to run the ball and likes to, get into that momentum and push it down the floor. And every time they
Mhm.
called those fouls, it was to Iowa State's advantage
Mhm.
because you're given, the bigger post player inside. I mean, she is bigger. You're giving that girl a rest. So every time you call that foul, it's giving her a rest. And they don't even have to take her out. She's just getting her rest because she's either on the free throw line or they're stopping the run back and forth.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Well, I know
last year
when
they ran her into the ground,
Mhm.
you know? So
Oh, you mean
yeah, is it Crooks or Cooks or whatever?
Crooks? Yeah, Crooks. I will
Mm-hmm.
tell you, for a girl her size, she's got some
Oh,
skills.
oh yeah,
I mean, she's
absolutely.
got a nice little soft touch when she just jumps around and faces the basket. I
Yes,
mean, I thought, I
absolutely.
thought the only thing she had going for her was pulling down some rebounds, and if she was underneath the basket, bumping some people out of the way and throwing the
Yeah,
ball
no.
back. But no, I gotta admit, she's got some skills that I didn't realize that she really had.
Oh, absolutely. And now, absolutely, yeah. She's not out there just running up and down getting rebounds, that's for sure.
Yeah, 31 points tonight against Iowa, but it was a little
Golly,
bit too much
right?
of her.
It's crazy. And like no one we even you wouldn't even realize that,
Yeah,
like really, like you're not even noticing. But yeah, quiet 31. Wow.
yeah, and I think we held her to 2 points in the fourth quarter. But then
Hmm.
again, we pretty much held the team. Did you see that graphic when they put that up there?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It showed that we were pretty even through the first three quarters, and then just how much we outplayed them,
Hmm.
outscored them in the fourth quarter.
It was like a 9-0 run, and like what they
Yeah,
kept ticking it like 8 minutes. It was like 2 minutes and 3 minutes and four
yeah.
minutes and five, then eight, and it just kept. So I'm glad that they finally broke away like that because it was making me pretty nervous. I mean, we were talking about how the offense didn't seem to move as much or as fast or
Mhm,
as quickly. And I
mhm,
think that comes from now where we were talking about they're playing teams, the ranked teams, the
mhm,
higher ranked teams, as they go against them in that defense,
mhm,
that's where that they're being challenged because you remember in those beginning games that ball was just whizzing around and the offense was moving quickly
mhm.
and
Yeah,
yeah, and that was the one thing I was thinking in my head. I'm like, well, let's see when we get into the Big Ten and we get up against those ranked teams that are higher up.
yeah. Well, I think
um
one of the things that we're missing is that offense and that up and down the court that Iowa likes, because
mhm,
I can't remember the last time this season that we scored over 80 points in a game, and it used to be if they didn't score 80, they didn't win.
right. Yeah, and they were usually closer to 100 every game.
Yeah,
We'd
yeah.
get up, it'd be like 94, and they'd put in the people from the bench, and I was hoping they'd score 100.
Yeah.
But it was a consistent thing. But I think if you throw in Stremlo and you throw in Guyton and you throw in Lucy, those guards, and
Mhm.
then you just let Stolke run the floor, they're gonna find her. They're gonna give her the ball and let them just take off. I mean,
Yeah.
don't back away from that. I think
So
Jan's
it's
waiting for
funny.
them. I think she's
It
waiting
is.
for them to get their experience. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that Kelvin would start out by saying Guyton, Hayden, and Strimlow, and you sent me a note that said Guyton, Strimlow, and Lucy.
Yep.
They should be starting 1, 2, 3, and
Yeah.
they might still be. You know,
Yeah.
they still might have a chance, but I really like that Guyton. She's really,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
I still want to know what her 3-point percentage. I got to believe it's the highest on the team right now.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she's taking high percentage shots within the offense.
Hmm.
She's like you like to say, she's not jacking it up, right?
Yeah.
She's she's taking it when she needs to take it. So
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, that's what I feel like about McCabe. I mean, she's supposed to be the deadliest 3-point shooter on the team, and what is she doing wrong that she's just not really performing at the 3-point line like she could?
Well, it's almost like it's not coming to her. Like she loved it on that baseline. Remember
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
baseline shot?
Hmm.
And coming around off of the reversal, the ball reversal.
Hmm.
So she'll come up from the baseline or come through that baseline runner and then get that ball off of that reversal and then she'll hit her shot. Or she'll be just out there and she'll get that skip or that
Hmm.
quick reversal to her. That just isn't happening for some reason.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
I
almost
kind of
like
wonder
it.
because I was rooting hard for her, and
Mhm.
I was sad that not that Sid's a bad player or anything, but I kind of wanted McCabe to stay in the starting lineup and maybe Feuerbach be the one get benched. But
Right?
Feuerbach actually seems like she might be the better defender though out of the two.
Yeah. Her arms are all over the place. She
Yeah.
really is. And
Yeah. We're
you
definitely
can't
playing
take
more
that from her.
defense this year than we have in the past. You know.
True.
So
True.
with
Very
Caitlin, there
true.
was no defense.
Mm,
Okay, I want
no.
to read this comment by Calvin. He's hanging
Okay.
in there with us tonight. Long old story, he says, but no love from Jan for effing Finley, how he puts it. You know anything about that?
About
You might
what
be
with
in the know.
Finley?
What's
Ah,
that?
I don't know. What's that about there? I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, I
Have they
thought
fought each
since you
did he
knew
did he
Jan, I
recruit
thought
her or
maybe you knew
something?
something. Hmm?
Did he recruit her or something?
I have no idea. Could
Because
he
I
have? I
know,
mean, I don't think
yeah,
he's
they were
that old, is
recruiting
he?
us. I mean,
He's been at. Can you believe he's been at Iowa State for 30 years?
exactly. It's
Wow,
crazy.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
He's getting old then.
Yeah,
There is
he is.
I like to go swim laps at my local gym here in the early
Yeah.
mornings, and if I
Yeah.
catch it at the right time, Bill Finley has a friend,
Hmm.
who's probably about 10 years older than I am, has a friend that swims laps right beside me, and he just loves to talk Iowa State and Bill Finley because they're friends. I don't, and it's cool because we're both here in Bakersfield. We're not out there in Iowa where, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I did notice this, Calvin. Hayden started the aggressive defense on Crooks, and then Hannah took it over. I did notice that Hannah really got a real more aggressive
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just still doing those, those freshman fouls. So they got to kind of be
Yeah.
careful with that. But
Okay.
otherwise,
Well,
yeah.
Calvin's explaining the Finley thing.
Okay.
Finley used to tell recruits bad stuff about Jan. You can
And I'm
imagine.
pretty sure they believed it. Come on now, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of negative recruiting going on. I mean, how much negative recruiting was going on against Iowa when you were choosing UCLA originally, or not?
None. I just wanted to leave Iowa because I just needed to get away.
And
And
then
I
you
and
missed
I
it
love
after a few
I
months.
loved the assistant coach at UCLA,
Yeah.
but I did end up coming back. So it had nothing to do with
Oh yeah.
anything they were offering us or anything like that. I mean,
Hmm.
now, geez, I mean anything that's all out the door now with all this money and NIL deals and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
now it's who's got the most money, right?
Uh, Apparently, it's about Jan's lifestyle. We don't need to get into that.
No, but
No,
geez.
her lifestyle is her lifestyle. It is what
Yeah,
it is. Okay.
yeah.
Um. So okay, I just want to keep poking the bear here. I want to bring up some stats. Let's talk about the stats here.
Okay.
Okay. Well, come on, phone. Must be getting too late. My face must be looking haggard because the phone wouldn't open for me.
Everything is so slow right now. Everything.
Yeah. Did you have a problem with Facebook today? Because I know I did.
Yeah. It's been a crazy day.
Okay, so let's just talk about Stokey did get 13 points. O'Grady only got 2 tonight, but she really had a hard time with Crooks, don't you think? Or you
Yeah.
think I think she struggled a lot against her tonight.
Yeah, and which is crazy. I really think she should have turned on her more.
Yeah.
Like her baseline was wide open and she wasn't turning and looking.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of thought too. And then, I kind of thought, I go, why isn't she doing that? Because it seems like she could and might even
Hmm.
draw a foul when she's doing it.
Literally, all she had to do is turn middle, sweep over the top, and go baseline on that girl, and she had her every time.
You
There's
think she
no
was
way.
intimidated in any way by Crooks?
Maybe I don't know, but there's no way Crooks could have stopped her. Like she just because she's so big and so much faster.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean for real, if she has her up on that high post like she had in the very beginning, I was
Mhm.
going go baseline, and she passed the ball back out,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
that's
she must.
just
It's got to be a little intimidation factor. Oh, I forgot to mention that Stokey had 4 rebounds tonight. So that girl was working her tail off tonight.
she was.
O'Grady had 4 rebounds. So I mean, she did pull down some rebounds.
Yeah.
Olsen had 25, one
Wow.
rebound, but had 5 assists. That's what you expect out of your point guard, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Sometimes
Falter
10.
had 16 points. I mean, this got to be her breakout game of the season so far, don't you
Oh
think?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And she had
And
6 rebounds. So she was working a little bit too.
there you go. So yeah, I mean, if you look at that though, across the board, everybody on that team is contributing.
All right. Yeah.
It's it just took a
Spivak
little
had
bit more
three
time.
rebounds and 6 points. Stremlo, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 6 points. Not a bad night for a rookie.
It's a great night for her, especially the little bit of minutes that she played, and then the little things that she did to change the game in the end when
Mm-hmm.
she was knocking the ball out of the hand of Crooks, and then making those passes easy. She had her assists and everything right when we needed it.
Yeah. Okay. McCabe, a little disappointing. Only played 11 minutes tonight. No rebounds, no assists, and 1 point.
Yeah, man.
You know, and she's a shooter, so she should have missed both free throws. I
I
mean,
know.
she should have made them both. Okay.
Should have been a 3-3 right there.
Yep. Okay. Ava Hayden, 1 rebound, 2 assists, no points. You think maybe she too was intimidated by Crooks a little bit? I mean, it seems like everybody but Hannah was intimidated by her.
Right. Or intimidated by that by the game itself. It's the Iowa State Iowa game and how big that is. Maybe. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot for, freshmen to come in and when
Yeah.
you go on the court and the game is like it is and you got to go in there and make a difference. There's some nerves involved there for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, Guyton had her 6 points, 7 minutes of play. McKeegan Maloney, I don't know how you say her name. I could probably say it if I heard
Mulaney.
it, but when I try to read it, it doesn't
Is it
sound the way it
Mulaney?
reads. Huh?
Mulaney?
Yeah, Mulaney. Yeah,
Yep.
no points and 1 rebound. But yeah, I'm looking. I know that these girls are going to do great. They're going to do good things, and I
Yeah.
talked to you a little bit about asking you, is this team not as good as we think they are? Or, because I didn't know. I didn't really want to say and go off on a thing and say this team is not that good.
No,
I
I
put a
didn't
question
either.
mark on it and
Yeah.
thinking because I want to see what you thought.
Yeah, and I think like the same thing. Like I think it's not are they as good? It's they're gonna have to put some things together and continue to work hard in order to
Mhm.
compete in the Big Ten because the Big Ten is a whole different story now.
Oh, yeah.
USC,
Yeah.
UCLA alone, look at that. I
Hmm.
mean, Michigan is looking insane. I mean, Maryland's coming back around. Like you. you're gonna have to fight like and be on top of your game.
And you don't want to forget Ohio State, who also has a
I,
nice little press thing.
I just don't
Watching
like
their
saying
press the
Ohio
other night.
State.
Hmm?
I don't
What's
like
that?
saying Ohio State. That's the problem.
I know it. I know it. I know it. So, you know what? Let's poke the bear on you a little bit. Tell me about some of your games with Iowa State, because I'm sure those rivalries meant a lot to you too against
Oh
Iowa
yeah, they
State.
were crazy because we were going against Beecher and oh my gosh, my brain is barely thinking, but Lynn Lorenzen was playing then for
Mhm.
Iowa State. So it was it was like playing in high school again, but then playing at the top level. So those
Mhm.
games were always just in your face and we're going to take you out. And we're like, no, we're going to take you out. I mean, it was just, but I think we won every single one of those. I mean, I don't remember losing to Iowa State ever, but I may be wrong.
I just like it's just amazing some of the names from Iowa high school basketball, names that I grew up with that were big names,
Yeah.
and names that I would follow because I said, I've always followed high school girls basketball in
Yeah.
Iowa, and I'm not so sure I was crazy about the change to 5-on-5, but I
Hmm.
like it. It's good now. It's better for the game.
It is because think about all those players that were just defenders, right?
Hmm.
But great athletes. But because
Hmm.
all they did was defend, they didn't really get looked at. So you
Right.
lost a lot of amazing athletes just because they were only defenders.
Yeah.
Because the majority of the people that were looked at for scholarships were the girls that were scoring the points. So, you know,
Yeah. Well, no,
that's
that
why.
yeah, it's just fun to see nowadays where everybody is gone with their, what they're doing nowadays. Like you're coaching different sport,
Yeah.
and you're pretty good at it. It appears from what I've read.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I'm coaching softball. I absolutely love it. I'm also coaching soccer. Absolutely
Mhm.
love that too. Like you and I said, we both love, that
Mhm.
game. I mean,
Right.
it's fun. A lot of people don't understand it, but I enjoy it. But it's in our blood. I mean, if it's not going to be basketball, it's always going to be something else just
Yeah.
because it's in me. And it's funny because I remember growing up and I never thought, hey, I really want to be a coach and I want to be a teacher. I never
Mhm.
thought that. And I do
Mhm.
know that when my friends found, or my high school teammates found out I was a teacher, they're like, "You're a teacher? You were the worst of the teachers. We can't believe it."
Yeah.
So
Kelvin
that's
says we're
why.
a good pairing. He likes us. I guess he likes the chemistry between us.
Hey, is Calvin the one who asked me for the card and the?
No, that was Alex. Are you going to come through on that for him?
Yeah, yes, I have two cards and a
Hmm.
magazine cover, signed
Oh
magazine
my
cover
God, that would be great. He'll love that.
from the state tournament back in geez,
Yeah.
80, what was that? My first one my freshman year. So well,
Looking
my
about like
sophomore year.
84, 83,
Sophomore year,
82.
yeah, because I was on the cover from my freshman year. So my sophomore year I was the cover of the state tournament
Yeah.
guide that
Hey,
they gave out.
if there's any way you can get that out to me before Christmas, I'll wrap it up and give it to him for a Christmas present.
Oh my gosh, I will do that. I can try to get that out tomorrow. We'll see what we can do.
He'll die and think he went to heaven.
Yeah, because I think I've got two basketball cards and then
Oh, look
yeah.
at the who's on here. He heard it.
Boo.
Oh, I just ruined his Christmas
Ah,
surprise.
dang it. What are you doing?
Alex, I didn't know you were on here. Sorry about
There's
that, buddy.
no
I just
Santa.
spoiled your Christmas gift.
Darn it. Yeah, but I just wanted him to know I didn't forget him.
Okay.
It's just my busy life and the cards are hanging on my refrigerator to remember
Hmm.
and the magazine covers in my dining room. So I'll get them together and get them sent out.
Yeah. So for this, I'm going to make Alex drive me to the USC football game next November.
Perfect.
USC Iowa and at the Coliseum.
Oh, that's nice. That'd be
Yeah,
a good one.
yeah. The Coliseum, I don't mind going to the Coliseum. I've watched USC play one football game years ago against Washington there, and I watched the 49ers and the Rams play there, which the 49er fans actually outnumbered the Rams fans. But they were when they both when Rams first moved to LA, it was 2019 before COVID hit. I went and watched the fall of 2019, and my went with my daughter and my son-in-law and my grandson, and we went because he was the grandson was playing football in a local football league here, and the whole team went down, and so I got invited to go. And
oh, that's great. That is so great.
Okay,
I love it.
Oh, we should get back to basketball though. Okay, Guyton, and Hannah and Sid, sure recovering quick from knees. Yeah, how about that?
Right.
How about that? I mean,
real quick.
It used to be,
I don't think open
Hannah's or Sid's knees. I think they both weren't like a real surgery. I think they had like a procedure, like a scope or something.
Maybe a clean out.
Yeah, that's what it was, a clean out. I couldn't think of the word I wanted because I had a clean out on a scope on my right knee, and it just took me about 6 weeks to get back to normal. But at the end of that 6 weeks, they put me back at the surgery room and did a total knee replacement on the left knee. So I never got I never got to experience and get the other knee back to where it needed to be.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you. I hope that never has to happen. I mean, I've been bone on bone since 93, so
and you still have aches and pains. I know it because I've been there.
I'm like, they told me I wouldn't play overseas for very long back in 93, and it lasted 7 years, so whatever.
This guy, oh man, going late, we're starting to get some people here. Hey, Sam. Sam, if I remember right, he is a tornado, what would they call it? Storm chaser?
Is he?
Yeah, chaser.
Wow.
Yeah. Hi, Sam. He's chasing any storms lately? Any in Oklahoma? I know some bad ones down there, but he had his hands full with the ones in Iowa this summer, I'm sure.
Yeah, they call me the tornado baby because there was a tornado that went through Belmont, Iowa, October 14th, but it was 2 years before I was born. And it flattened the whole entire town in Belmont. Yeah.
Yeah, Kelvin wants to know if you ever played against a Crooks type post. I'm not sure what he means by that, but
mean like
size or talent?
Size? Yes.
Yeah, definitely talent-wise.
Absolutely.
Because you played against the best.
Yeah, 6'7" was the tallest I played against. That was Vanderbilt. I think I took a shot. You couldn't even see me. You just saw the ball come over the top of her.
Molly, how tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm 6'3", so.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd have to do a hook shot on that one, and it went in, but you can see me shooting it because she was rather large and tall.
6'3", did you feel like a short guy, a short lady?
I did, I did. Of course, I had the hops, but I could jump. White girls can jump, right? But I guess I played bigger than I am. I think that's what people said.
Yeah. Calvin, originally he said he meant by overpowering, a person that was overpowering. So.
All the time.
Yeah.
Every time. I swear, every time we were on the floor, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
They're just post players back in the day were just built different. I mean.
Sam, I wish I would have known you were at the UCLA game when I was there. I would have definitely met up. I'd like to meet up with the people that come on here.
Oh, heck yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah. So
have a get together.
Sam wants to do a storm chasing show with me sometime, and I'm anxious to hear some of his stories. I think they'd be quite interesting.
Heck yeah, that would be great. Because people in Iowa, when a storm comes, we go out and look for it, and everybody else runs.
Yeah. Well, they do that. Like, my daughter was telling me, she, at least a little sign of a storm, she doesn't even wait for the warning. She runs to her shelter with her family and grabs all the dogs and stuff and gets in the shelter. They leave the ducks out, though. The ducks can run around in the storm. They don't care about
the ducks. Are fine. Who knew?
But she says, the rest of the neighborhood's all standing out on the sidewalk, looking for it and everything.
Yeah. But the baby ducks are fine.
Yeah. And my dad used to be he used to be well, of course, he used to work for KWL News in Waterloo. Okay.
Okay.
And he died in 1981, so you probably wouldn't have remembered him too much.
Nope.
You was still pretty young, junior high-ish.
Yeah, and and we really weren't on TV much. I wasn't. I mean, of course, other people probably were, but I wasn't in '81. Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, I got a couple of things I want to get to before I get to the question down below that Calvin has, but he does bring up an interesting one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so my dad had worked for there, but my dad would send us to the basement every time the air raids would go off or the air sirens would go off,
Me too.
and he would stand out on the driveway, and then he actually spotted a funnel cloud, so he called us all up because the funnel cloud was still in the sky because we'd never seen one before. Goes, bam, 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 there's your funnel cloud. Goes,
That's
Dad,
so
shouldn't we be in
cool.
the basement? He goes, wait, he goes, it's fine as long as it's up in the sky.
Right. Hasn't dropped. It hasn't dropped yet. It's fine.
It hasn't dropped yet, but when it drops, we'll run downstairs. Okay, let's see. Okay, Sam is talking about going back for the USC game. That would be fun if he comes out to meet up with him. Okay, here's this question I got. Do you know Guyton's mom, Molly, Olympic player, WNBA?
No. No. I do
I bet
not.
she's younger than you a little bit.
I guarantee she is, which is crazy. But I guarantee she is. What's even crazier is that I have a soon-to-be 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. So think about that.
Were those the kids that you posted pictures on Facebook over the weekend?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
My little girl playing basketball.
Yeah. You said she doesn't like it.
She does not know.
Are you just going to make her finish the season, or?
Yeah, she's going to finish it out. She said she has to finish it out, but she doesn't like it. And she says she likes softball and hockey. So I said, okay, that sounds good. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, don't
I'm not
force
forcing
him, right?
you to do anything.
Yeah, don't force him. Yeah.
No.
My one grandson, he's 11 now, and when he first went out for basketball, he was so mad that his mom was making him go. I'd pick him up from school after practice because it would be right after school, and he'd just be, he'd just be talking and he goes, I hate this, I don't want to do this anymore. I go, well, I'm sorry that you don't like it, but you probably should finish the season first before you
Right.
end up liking it after they actually played some real games, because he was hating the preseason practices and after they started playing some games and he started scoring some baskets, he kind of liked it and wants to do it again.
Yeah, that's good.
And he turns out to be one of the best soccer players on his team.
Wow.
I don't want to brag him up, but he's 11 and he's more of a good defender. He can score, but the coach loves him as a defender, so he just leaves him in the backfield and tells him to get the ball back up front. And he does. He can outrun everybody on the team and put the ball back where it needs to go.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I do
Kids
too. Let's see. Molly, my first tornado I saw was the Parkersburg EF5. That was on my birthday too.
Wow.
I was sitting at home with the air raids going off, the sirens, and I was thinking, this is my birthday. What? Why did we got a tornado today? And our grocery store donated a couple of pallets of drinking water for Parkersburg that day. My boss came and got them and drove them up there.
Yeah, that stuff is scary.
Yeah.
Especially that big.
Yolanda Griffith, Iowa recruit, never made it to Iowa.
She makes sense. That I've heard of her, Yolanda Griffith.
Yeah. Wonder where she made it to. She did make it to Iowa.
But that rings a bell, though.
Yeah. Or could it be something, like a lot of times highly recruited kids, they make their commitments and stuff, but they never really pan out, and then you never hear of them again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, lots of things can happen. I mean, shoot, I was plagued with injuries once I got to Iowa.
Yeah. WNBA, great. Calvin knows, he's, like I said, he's a walking encyclopedia. He says he never looks
at stuff. I know
Yolanda.
He just remembers it. Yeah, I know Yolanda Griffith. Yeah.
From Chicago High School. Okay.
Yep.
We'll just keep going. I want to continue what I was working on. So let's talk about the 3-point shooting tonight. Okay, 8 for 25. Now they started making a few at the end of the game that brought their percentage up from 25% early in the game to 32% for the final. So is 32 respectable in your eyes, or should it be a little higher?
No, I mean, I think 32 to 40 something that's pretty normal. They did bring it back up, but
yeah.
I
And
mean,
Iowa State shot nearly 50%. They were 46.7.
there you go. Yeah, see.
Wow.
Yeah.
They must live and die by the three.
I think they do because they stopped hitting them. They stopped hitting them, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
And then field goal percentage, they were 51.9 and we were 42.6.
God,
Yeah.
that's just
Iowa
not
started
good.
0 for 9 from the 3-point line.
They did. Because that's
okay. Free throws. Okay. 60%. Not good.
No. Horrible.
15 to 25. 60%. But it could have been worse. Iowa State was 37%.
That's so bad. Yeah, I told you it was back and forth. Horrible. Thank God. I mean, because if somebody would have been hitting their free throws in the beginning, they would have won the game.
Yeah.
And I think the announcer even said that, it's not, that we don't think it's bad. They're missing the free throws right now. But when it comes down to the end of the game, that's when, if you would have made those, you would have been winning the game, which is the truth.
Yeah. Isn't it like when some basketball teams early in the season, well, it's only an early season loss. It's not going to hurt us. And doesn't every loss eventually add up and could hurt you at the end of the season?
Absolutely, especially for where they put you in the playoffs, in the brackets. Of course, they're going to look at that now. I mean, yeah.
So
I
anyway,
think every game's important.
Yeah. So Iowa State did out rebound us tonight, 37 to 33.
What were the turnovers?
Turnovers. I know that they had 21, we had 9. They're for the longest time with their turnovers going on. I kept thinking, we might lose this game, and they're having massive turnover issues like we did. But we actually were leading that Tennessee game for a long time until the last few minutes of the game.
When you give 23 points away on turnovers, there's an issue there.
Yeah.
If you think about that, I mean, geez, just cut those turnovers in half of that Tennessee game. When they have 30.
30. Yeah, 30. Somebody told me 34, but I got it confirmed that it was only 30.
It was only 30. Yeah, so cut them in half.
Only 30.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then so Iowa had 7 block shots compared to their 3. We had 12 steals. Man, that's a lot.
That's big. That's big.
That's huge. They had 5 steals and they had 21 turnovers. Iowa had 9. They had 25 personal fouls tonight compared to Iowa's 17.
So that's the difference right there, is those the turnovers and then the steals, because we're scoring off of that. So we're scoring off of their 21. We might have scored, score half of that, and then with the 12 steals, so we're getting more opportunities. That's why we won the game. And they got, I'm telling you, they got the majority of those steals towards the end of the game. In those last 4 minutes or so, because it was I think it was like around the 4-minute mark, 2-minute, 3-minute something. Wasn't a lot of time left in the game when it started to go our way.
Oh, I thought that was really crazy. Hannah had that one great steal as Crooks turned around to lay it in, and she just come up and swiped it right from her.
Yeah,
right out of her hands as she was getting ready to lay it in.
She did.
Yeah. No, that was fun. I like Sam's being a smart butt, but he says Iowa had more points.
That's all that counts.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Like, Kirk Ferentz said in the game against Nebraska, the football game a couple of weeks ago or a week ago.
Yeah.
He goes, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't sweet, but we won.
Exactly. We had more points at the end. That's all that counts.
Yeah, we had more points at the end. Yeah, and the guy who made it possible, because if he didn't have that 75-yard run, we probably don't win the game, and now he's not going to be in our bowl game.
Why? Why?
Yeah, he declared for the NFL draft, so he wants to prepare for the draft, so he opted out. I mean, I think we got a couple of decent running backs on the team, but I just don't think they'll have the kind of production and runs that Johnson had.
I just don't
call him KJ.
I guess I'm just old school. I don't agree with that. I just keep playing. I mean, because you never know. Like, oh, I might get hurt, but yeah, you may go there, get that money, and get hurt and not play.
Yeah.
And who knows?
You know, the funny thing is nobody considered doing that, and I can't remember who it was, but it was like a USC or UCLA person or something did that for the first time, and everybody going, "What? He's not going to play?" And then all of a sudden, every year, a few more would start opting out of the bowl games.
It was the thing to do.
Yeah, you know, got to make sure the NFL sees me. You know, they're going to see you plenty when you get invited to the combine. You know?
Right.
And, you know, sometimes I feel like the NFL would also look at your commitment to your team that you know, anyhow.
You would hope.
That would be said and everything. So the next game up, I believe, is Michigan State. I haven't really looked much at Michigan State, but haven't you? Either. Yeah. Let me just bring that up real quick so we can just kind of real quick talk about it real quick. And then.
Yeah, because I really haven't either. I mean, I do know Michigan, though. That's going to be tough. I mean, just watching them play in the preseason, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, I said something like to you 6 or 7. I believe there's probably 6 to 5 teams that I was going to have to struggle with: USC, UCLA, Ohio State, Michigan. I don't know about Indiana. I thought at one point Indiana and Illinois would give us trouble, but.
Yeah, I don't know how many people Indiana graduated or, you know, from that group that was fighting them for 2 years. The first year that Caitlin hit that last second shot to beat them at home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What about Nebraska, too, though, right? Nebraska?
I think Nebraska's ranked up there, too. I think Nebraska, just because of the nature of what happened last year between the two teams.
Right.
You know, we kind of beat them in I don't remember how bad we beat them in the Big Ten title game, but we lost that huge lead in the middle of the season to lose to them. And I think we'd beaten them earlier in the season. I think that was 3 times we had played them, but I don't think the Nebraska girls are going to forget about losing that Big Ten title game to Iowa.
No. No. And then Wisconsin.
I
mean, you just
Wisconsin historically has not been a great team. Do you think that they're up and coming this year?
Maybe.
Yeah. I wish I could find some preseason stuff on them, but you know, you can find the men's magazines, but you can't find anybody really willing to talk about the women's game.
Nope.
You know?
Maybe I should start doing that.
Yeah. But anyway, Kelvin says Michigan State presses leads the nation about forced turnovers. Great Young. I don't know. Is that a name of a person, a girl on the team? Viech.
So they press and force turnovers. We're in trouble.
The minute I read that, I kept thinking that, well, Tennessee already showed us what happens when you press.
Exactly.
And you know, honestly, we didn't get to really watch the team down in Cancun. I caught glimpses and highlights, but I never really watched it. But one of those teams, I can't remember which one that they had to come from behind to beat, pressed them pretty hard. And they struggled with that press.
Yeah.
You know,
so they know now they've got to come up with a press breaker. But I told you, you get those 3 guards in there, and that's a big help.
Yeah, yeah,
that's a big press breaker right there.
Yeah, and that's what she's going to have to do. She's going to have to figure out how to break those presses, and
she will.
It sounds to me like that's a good where to start. 3 guard offense there.
Yeah, she will. I mean, do the old school 3 guards, 2 posts back, have them cut the middle and break it. I mean, it's a simple.
Is there any way we can put 6 out there?
get a good old ghost from the past to play with us and help us out.
Yeah.
Old Carver's got a few of those, I'm sure.
I'm sure. We'll bring Megan back as the center, Caitlin as our point guard, and
oh, good Lord. Did you see I'm pretty sure you read the Time magazine.
I didn't get a chance to. I want to read the whole article. I
Yeah, you
believe
need to read
Melvin
the whole
sent me a
article.
link to it, and I didn't know if that was the whole article or not. But I skimmed through it because I had to read it on my phone, and I'm going to be honest with you, my eyesight's not that great on the phone.
Same.
So
I need my
I told my wife
glasses.
tonight I would like to find that magazine and just read the article for myself. But
Me too.
I know that she says some things on there, and she gave a little insight about her feelings about the Olympic team. Did you see that
She
part?
sure did.
Why don't you just what you remember of it? Why don't you just tell the folks, in case they haven't read it? Because I thought it was quite interesting.
she she was on the bus and said she said she called her agent or something, and it said something about, I hope that game gives them a little more incentive to put me on the team, right?
Yeah.
And she's telling her agent, her agent's like, "Oh yeah, I gotta call you."
She
And
goes, she knew right then and
I
there.
think she said, "Oh,
Yep. Yep. That's what I read.
right, yeah." And that's when they told her, "Yeah, we didn't select you on the team," and da 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 and all that.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Blah blah blah," is all she heard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
After that.
That would be me too. The thing is she said that it's when she came back that she felt like she started playing better. She didn't feel like she was playing very well until that one game, that last game for the
Yeah,
Olympics.
yeah,
Yeah, and honestly, I thought she'd been playing pretty well all year. I mean, for the first time rookie in the WNBA, and the girls that are hound dogging her the whole time.
yeah.
You know,
Did you get to the point where she talked about the difference in the WNBA and college basketball
no, please
and the
tell us.
IQ and the IQ part of it?
No, I want to hear this part. I hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you probably some people will probably take it wrong.
Hmm.
But she was talking about the IQ of college basketball and the IQ of the WNBA and that strength of that. And she was saying how she couldn't believe, it was a little disturbing to her that they didn't guard her differently at the
Hmm.
college level. Where they didn't double team her, they didn't trap her, they didn't run those, those run and jump traps that they were doing in the
Hmm.
WNBA in order to cause her to like give up the ball and cough up the ball. And she was saying how it is because the IQ of women's basketball in college is not as high. And she goes, I don't mean any disrespect by that, but
Hmm.
usually after college, most of the women don't will not be playing basketball again. I mean, it's the truth. We're
It's very
more
much the truth. Very much.
it is absolutely the truth. I mean, we go off into our career, right?
Hmm.
We're not every one of us is not going, oh, I'm going into the NBA. Like you've got the men's game, right? And she said they said that she looked to the TV and was watching, I think it was USC Old Miss, and she said, "Man, if I were in this game right now, I'd be scoring 50 points. It's so
Yep, there it
easy.
is. That's
It's so easy. I'd be scoring 50 points right now."
yeah. Now that she's learned some things, yeah. Well,
I
the
can't wait to see
WNBA though,
her.
like you said, that's the best of the best.
It really is.
You know, and some of
It's
the
it
coaches in high school, I mean, not high school, but college,
college.
bless their hearts, but a lot of them aren't WNBA material, if you know
Nope.
what I mean.
But
I mean, there's a lot of good coaches out there,
right.
but a lot of them, if they're not guarding Caitlin the way they needed to, well, then that's on them
Hmm.
to not do that.
Right.
But there are teams that tried to double and triple team her, though.
Well, South
They
Carolina
picked
did
her up
it.
at half court.
Yep, they started doing that towards the end.
Yeah.
But see, that's the difference now in what we were talking about with
Hmm.
Iowa right now. Like, remember, if Caitlin got jumped on, she had Gabby, she had Kate, right? She had Molly Davis,
Hmm.
and that's when McCabe came in and was hitting those threes. She had a lot of 3-point shooters that she could get the ball to.
Right. And, they talked about that. Oh, my wife's
Hmm.
on. She goes, I love the added guest input. That's my wife. Thank you, dear, for watching. We appreciate it.
She's sweet.
Yeah, there we go. So I'm trying to think now. My mind's getting foggy. It's getting late, and I know it's
Yeah.
even later for you.
Yeah. We're almost on break. We're good.
Yeah. So God, where my thought was going at. Give me a second to figure out where my thought was going on
Well, we
this
were
next
talking
one.
about Caitlin, and we were talking about her in college, and we were talking
Yeah.
about college
Oh yeah,
coaches.
yeah, yeah.
And mhm.
Sydney mentioned that she didn't realize, I think, the difference without Caitlin on the court compared to her with Caitlin on the court because of the way she would feed them the ball and everybody would be open for their shot to get to their favorite
I
spot.
mean,
And now they have to work a little harder for it. And she just realized that she needs to be more aggressive than she was,
yeah,
this so far this year. I mean,
yeah,
the Sydney we thought we'd see all year was the Sydney the end of the year when she took over for Molly Davis,
yes.
you know.
And
And
I'm
I
saying,
we saw I finally saw that tonight, but I think she finally figured out that it's just not going to come to her like it did last year. She's going to have to work for it.
mm-mm, mm-mm. But I think Stremlo can become one of those people that does get them the ball like that.
Hmm.
I mean, if you've watched Stremlo in high school, she is a baller. She can, oh my gosh. And I'm not seeing too much of there's not a weakness when she's from her high school game to her college game. It's not weak. She's
Hmm.
strong when she gets on that court. Because normally you see that little bit of a strength thing from high school player to a college player.
Hmm.
And I'm not seeing that in Stremlo at all.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think at least three of the freshmen look like they're pretty solidly built, and they're going to be kind of hard to push
Yeah.
them around.
Oh
They
yeah.
talk about that freshman 15. They may have come to the freshman year with that 15 already.
Yeah. I mean, because they're not backing down from anybody, which I
No.
love.
Yeah. And the don't know about the one girl. Oh, can't think of her name now, but Callie Levine. I don't know. She doesn't get enough playing time, and they don't really see her until late in the game in a blowout. But Guyton, I mean, I was actually surprised. So that's actually taking some playing time away from McCabe, I think.
I mean, your confidence has to be there, and I
Yeah.
mean, you got to. If
Yeah.
Guyton's doing it, you got to put her in.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
you
You
just
got to
have
put
to.
her in. She's doing it. And I mean, and I know that they're just like looking for her mainly as a backup to Lucy right now, but
Put
um,
them together. Put them
put them
together.
together. I think they were in together for a couple of minutes tonight.
Yeah, they were for yes at the end, and I was like, yes, they're finally in. It was only I don't even know if it was minutes though. It might have been seconds.
Yeah, that could have been. I
She may
mean,
have
it's hard
been.
to tell late in the game when the clock is being stopped for free
Yeah.
throws all the time.
Yeah. She may have made a mistake, like, oh, dang it. Why are they both in at the same time? Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah. Well, Molly, I think this has been good. I mean, we're
Yeah,
starting to lose some viewers. Not every viewer commented, but I think it's a good place to let off. And
no
I
problem.
don't know when the Michigan State game is. I think it's Sunday.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to try to do Sunday or not. That'd be up to you. I think the game is actually I'm going to be in church because the game is 9 o'clock my time on Sunday.
Nah, yeah. Well, just let me know. Text me, whenever you text me, I'm ready.
Okay.
I
Yeah, I
got
mean,
you.
we could do it later on Sunday after I come home and watch the replay.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. We can watch the
Yeah, because
replay
I'm
and
going to
do it
have to
later.
watch the replay because game will be over by the time I get out of church.
Sounds
All
like a
right.
plan.
Yeah, there you go. We'll talk to you on Sunday. See you then.
All right, take care. Bye.
Yeah.